Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, folks, hope everyone's doing well on this wet and miserable Monday. I thought I was going to do this video anyway. In fact, I did do a video earlier, but it wouldn't upload. So I'm going to do it again and add a little bit to it, and then I'm going to upload it as I get home and I get the Wi-Fi. So, Farke, Leeds, defence, attack. Need to find balance there. So I see a lot of stuff online about sacking Farke. You know, I have friends who say that really, people I love to bits, people I really admire, say sack Farke. Everyone's got a difference of opinion. I'll never shoot down someone else's opinion, that's a fact. If you want to leave me a comment and you disagree, I disagree with a lot of comments sometimes. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. It is what it is. What I'll say is I think I'm probably one of the most balanced channels, one of the most balanced fans. I go to games, I spend my money and I go to games. Which I think sometimes gives me a better insight or a worse insight. There's two sides to each sort of way, isn't there? Sometimes you might see stuff. You have the opportunity to watch a replay potentially where I don't, and if I do an honest reaction straight after the game, I've only got one take. So sometimes we'll agree based on the fact that I've gone to a game and I've missed something, or maybe in the stadium or with the fans at the in the moment we may see a different. A difference of opinion for that reason, and sometimes obviously there'll be games I watch anyway, and we agree or disagree. This is just life, we'll all have a difference of opinion. What I'll say is I'm quite strong with my opinion. I think I'm fair with it. Should Farke be sacked right now, as of Monday? No, Farke shouldn't be sacked now, in my opinion. If you think he should, I'm sure the points I'm going to bring up now are the reasons why, and you've just got a little bit less patience than I have, and that's fine. That's fine. I would argue we've got 4 points in 4, which is a point a game, which people will say is good enough. And I would say we've had 2 brilliant seasons under him, best 2 seasons I can remember. Even you could argue up there with the Bielsa in terms of how you feel after the game. Going to work on a Monday with 3 points, with a great experience. We have pretty much, dominated the league for 2 years in the Championship. It's been brilliant. The step up, all the worries and all the questions that I've asked and other people have asked and as concerns with Farke, we may not be too far down the road yet to say, look, there you go, there's the proof, because there's an argument that we've beat Everton, we were in the game, apart from Arsenal, we've looked okay, and I get that. But you can see the points that I've made prior. Subs, team selection, been a bit too pragmatic at times. You can see that already in the opening 4 games we've had, regardless of how well we've done or not. What I'll say is there's an argument that we've got the one of the best defences so far this season in the way we work off the ball. We're set up really, really well defensively, really, really good, but we've still got the second worst defence statistically. Got a -5 goal difference. That's brutal. The context is we got battered by 5 at Arsenal. I get that. I'm not a fucking idiot, believe it or not. Not all the time. I get that. Take that out. 1 goal conceded against Fulham. But we've still got the second worst defence in the league, regardless of the context. If we lose 1-0, win 1-0, draw 0-0 for X amount of games, but get battered 4s, 5s by the top 6 and 8 teams in this division, doesn't matter how well we defend in the other games and we keep it tight in the rest of the matches. That doesn't matter, because the facts are we'll have a -20, 30 goal difference, won't we, at that point? So as much as the eye test and how well we're playing and how we feel, how you feel watching Leeds United, that is one thing, and I often go off that. I don't really like stats. But you can't say we're brilliant defensively when you look and we've got the second worst defence. So there is something in both sides of that. I get it. I do get it. The goal we concede against Fulham, I get it. Total freak incident. That don't happen, we leave with a point. And everyone's happy. Let's flip the Everton game. So lucky to get a penalty. Regardless if you think it was a penalty or not, there's a grey area there where, is it a penalty or isn't it a penalty? If the ball goes 6 inches left or 6 inches right, don't hit his arm anyway, and it isn't a penalty. And those 3 points become 1. So we lose 2 points there. Even if we gain a point at Fulham. So if you're happy to say, well, Goodmanson on another day, the Everton game on another day, we're 0-0 opening day at season with a buzzing Ellen Road, with Aronson and Harrison at wings. And that would have looked a poor result in my eyes then. But people will have allowed that. Depends what side of the fence you sit on. Unfortunately for some people, they want you to have an opinion either way. They want you to be in or out all the time. And if you say anything negative, you must be out. Well, no, I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't want him sacked. That's a fact. I don't want him sacked right now. Do not want him. Don't want anyone to get sacked when they're doing the best. He's there every day. He's doing his best. Sometimes your best ain't good enough. Right now, it probably just about is. Just about. Because you can see what they're trying to do. But he has to change. And if we get beat by Wolves, if we get beat by Bournemouth, there'll be questions asked. I don't think he'd survive past that point, whether that's right or wrong. But Farke is good enough to keep Leeds in this division. And Farke is good enough to keep this Leeds United in this division. Has he got every player he wants? No, he hasn't. Has every single team, bar Liverpool, in the Premier League got every single player they wanted this season? No, they haven't. We're going on like we're the only team that didn't get all our targets. Do you think that's the case? Seriously, do you think Leeds United are the only team who didn't get all the targets? Some will say Sunderland, well, they wanted DCL, but they didn't get that well, did they? But the law of averages will tell you there's not just Leeds United who suffered, in the window in terms of not completing the jigsaw puzzle. That's where the manager has to earn his money. It has to. You've got someone like Pep, for years, has all the jigsaw pieces. And I'd probably win the title at Man City 4 or 5 years ago, me in charge, because it was just had the best players. We've seen that with Farke in the Championship. Not saying that he don't get no credit for that. Of course he does. You've still got to go do it. But he has to earn his fucking money now, because he hasn't got all the pieces. But what he has got, he's got a lot of pieces. And some of them he ain't utilising where he should use them. And that's just a fact. That is just a fact. Ramazani should still be here today, based on the fact we didn't replace him. Willie Gnonto, 100%, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, is a better option than Willie Gnonto. Don't tell me that Aronson is a world beater defensively, because he isn't. Is he a good defensive winger? If that's what you like, then yeah, he's good off the ball. Is it easier to tell Willie Gnonto, who's technically better at football by some distance, to work harder and do the defensive duties? Yes, because guess what? That can be done. Aronson's not a technically gifted tackler. He just puts himself about. So you can tell a Willie Gnonto, you can tell a Dan James, who I actually think they both do that anyway, in my opinion. But you can tell a Willie Gnonto to do the hard yards and get your ass back. Because you're a manager. Tell them, get them in line and do it if you don't think they're doing it enough. If you didn't think Ramazani were doing it enough, get him told. But you can't tell Brendan Aronson to be a better offensive, technically gifted footballer than what he is. That's impossible. He is what he is. And you can't be telling the fan base we haven't got quality and this is what we've got when you have got quality and you're choosing to play people in that final third who aren't going to get you the assists and goals that are needed. So that is a flaw of Farke's. That is a flaw. For me, record straight, I don't want Farke sacked, as I've just said. I don't want him sacked. But I want him to wake up. I didn't want Bielsa sacked when he was playing Tyler Roberts every week. I wanted him to wake up. You can have a difference of opinion. You can think someone's doing some questionable decisions. Don't mean you want them sacked. That's not where I am. And if you are there, that's fine. And I'll understand your points to why. I've just got a little bit more patience than you. 4 games isn't enough. But you can see certain parts of Farke's sort of mindset and his thought process that will have fans calling for him to be out. Because if we go to Wolves and set up the same way, don't score and lose that game, it's not looking good, is it? Regardless, it's not looking good. I sort of look at the situation now and think, great defensively, yes, I get that. But can we be a little bit less solid at the back and give ourselves more chance going forward? I think that's where we've got to look now. And I know we've created chances. Technically, we had more shots than Fulham in that game. But that's not a surprise, because guess what? Leeds United are fucking brilliant defensively. Brilliant, that doesn't surprise me. Everton nullified them. Wow. But look what Everton have done since. It's not about us having more shots than them. And us, your argument's void because, we have got creative players because we had 10 shots against Fulham. And, it's people putting it away, putting the chances away. Well, I disagree. Because for me, we're not creating enough gilt-edged chances. We'll have a couple in a game. Got 11 fucking professional footballers kicking a ball around. They're going to have a couple of opportunities. But we need to create more. We need people who can directly affect a game. But we haven't signed them. What? We haven't signed Wilson. We haven't signed Hamer. Really? Are they going to make the world of difference? Because I tell you now, if Hamer were here, he'd be on bench. Because he likes his 4-3-3 with that solid foundation, because he doesn't want to leak goals. We've got Nonto, we've got Okafor, we've got Dan James. For me, they have to be in the side before an Aronson and before a Harrison. They need to be. They have to be. And then if you can get up on the scoreboard, if you can get one up, they are good options then to see a game out. I totally get that. But let's go for the game. Let's try and score. Let's try and win the game first. Then an Aronson and a Harrison, that's where they make the money. That's where they're a valuable member of the squad. For me, they're not going to go win you the game. But that's where the conversation is now. How do we get scoring goals all of a sudden? If you're worried that we're not scoring enough goals, which everybody is, but you think Aronson should still start, then I don't understand that logic. And people will tell me, but he had good numbers last season. He had all right numbers playing in the number 10 position for a side that won 100 points. Of course he's got all right numbers. What, 11 G&A? Is it good enough? I aren't going to get into an argument about that. But he should have good numbers playing, a side that gets 100 points and breaks all records for a club. He should get those numbers. A better player would have doubled it potentially. But yeah, I think you can be Farke out, Farke in, and there's reasons for both sides. Ultimately, one day Farke won't be here no more, and the fan base will be able to have that argument there, of, oh, well, I'm happy he's gone, or, it's too early, it's too... whatever. At some point it will happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen this season, because a manager change means things are going south. And I'm going to Wolves at weekend, and I'm wanting him to go and win game. But he needs to set us up in a better way for me. Maybe a formation change. A 4-2-3-1. Go back to the formation that Farke has always adopted as a manager. Well, we haven't got a number 10. You're putting square pegs in round holes. Something needs to give, doesn't it? Why can't Tanaka play a bit further forward? Whether you play a traditional 4-2-3-1 and play Tanaka behind. Stack. I got laughed at for saying Stack could play in 10. Why couldn't he? Why couldn't he? Big physical presence. Just behind a striker. He's already the second most creative player in Premier League, playing a defensive sort of role. Is he a traditional 10? No, he isn't. Tanaka's not really. I'd rather play a 4-3-3, keep it compact, but allow the side a little bit more freedom to go win the game. You can see they haven't got the freedom. They haven't got the freedom from Farke. That opening 45 minutes against Everton is what this side can do. And you're telling me we've got a lack of quality, Farke. Go watch that opening 45 minutes against Everton. Go watch it. When Aronson was on the bench, when Harrison was on the bench, and you put out a team there that were up for it. And I get it, we're at Ellen Road, but we played that way regardless of reason, having 37,000 fans, screaming and creating that atmosphere. But regardless, that proved that we've got quality. We were all over them for 45 minutes, and we haven't been able to get anywhere near that level since in the next 3.5 games. There needs to be either a formation change or keeping it as it is, but giving the freedom and license to players to play the game that's in front of them and express themselves. Because a footballer that's enjoying it and expressing themselves, you're going to get more output than being in this little box. Got to do this, got to do that. And that's how I feel Farke manages at times. And obviously, basically, play your strongest players in that attacking final third. Play the most creative players, because you could argue. Some people argue, you know, we've got Okafor in there, DCL, but I do think when you're playing Aronson, you're taking out one of your attacking threats and making him be, more of a defender than an attacker, and you're only giving yourself 2 players in that side that are attacking. Away from home, Bogle and Goodmanson aren't going to get us forward, because obviously you don't want to get caught in transitions. So you're asking Okafor there to take his man, and you're only really giving Okafor license to beat a man. You need threats from both sides. I just want to sort of address that, because I think by pointing out Farke's negatives, that means you Farke out, apparently, which it fucking doesn't at all. Farke's positives: 2 great seasons, can keep things tight at the back. It's hard to say much negative about him, other than what I've said in this video. He's been relegated twice, didn't get backed. Did get back this time. He has been backed. 100% being back for me. You can't say £100 million and 10 players isn't backing a manager. He hasn't got everyone he wanted. But tough shit. Got to get on with it now and make his money, hasn't he? And I think he's good enough. I always like an underdog as well. Leeds United are underdogs. Everyone's ruling us out. Farke is going to relegate you. He can't stay up. Look what he did at Norwich. Fuck Norwich. That's gone. Farke can keep this side up. He can keep this side up. And that's where I'm at with it. I aren't too sure he knows his best 11 yet, which I think he's still trying to figure out. That's a shame. The set pieces, 49ers are getting blamed for not having a set piece coach currently. Why is that 49ers? The manager picks his coaching staff. So it's not just the 49ers, it's all of them. Why have we not got set piece coaching? That needs addressing. That'll help Farke. That'll aid Farke in the team going forward. Having more opportunities, different opportunities to score goals. But you can have negatives on someone, but not hate him and not want him sacked. I am Farke currently. We'll see how the next few games go. All I can call it on is how I feel in that moment, that game by game sort of feel. And right now I back him. I back the boys to get out of this rut. And other people say we're not in a rut. I would say we are, because we can't score a goal. And if that continues, we won't get enough points to stay up. So let's give them a little bit more freedom. Let's pick the players who are the creative players in those areas. And I think relieving a little bit of that defensive unit, does that, if you play Nonto instead of Aronson, does that mean we are going to concede more goals? I don't think so. Not at all. But does it mean we're going to score more goals? It's probable. It's definitely probable. That's how I sort of view it. So yeah, there's my sort of feelings at the minute. And Wolves, I think we can go there and it'll be tight, but I think we can go get a win. I think we can go beat Wolves. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait, to be honest. Let's hope we can beat Wolves with a match day vlog for that, and we can go into that game, come out of that game absolutely buzzing. 4 points out of 4 games, it's not bad. It's not bad. But 4 out of 5, all of a sudden looks shit, doesn't it? But there's a chance we get, with 7 in 5, which is great. Just need to make sure this doesn't become a massive thing. The press are talking about it now, obviously the fans, about not being able to score from open play. It's becoming a bit of a thing now. Just need to knock that on the head as soon as possible. But yeah, please like, please subscribe. I hope if we have a difference of opinion, we can still sort of agree on the points I brought up now. If you've got out different, you want to say in here, let me know in the comments, and we'll have a bit of chat about it. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Take care. Yeah, please like, please subscribe. Take care. Love yous, man. Leeds.